Hi planty people, I'm back for my third video of the day, so I hope you're enjoying them. So this one is going to be about my massive Micans. I got this Micans, this Philodendron Micans at the hardware store, as you can see, for $8. It was in a bit of a ratty shape, so it got marked down. It had an end chopped off it or broken off it. And it was all wrapped around in a real shambles. I will post a photo right now. So this is what it looked like when I bought it. I've since unwrapped it, and I measured it out to 1.4 meters of Micans vine. So what I want to do is I'm going to chop and prop it. So I'm going to make a little series out of propagating this Micans and replanting the long, wild tendrils after they have rooted and propagated well into one big plant. And I'm going to be doing a video series about it. So this is the first video introducing you to this ridiculously huge Micans that definitely needs some TLC. Alright, so let's unravel this long wild Micans and get snipping. Now, I'm really amazed to see Micans finally becoming accessible in hardware stores. I never quite understood why a vining philodendron that was so similar to heartleaf and a neon and etc. Was becoming so expensive. Like, I know they're beautiful, but they were getting super expensive in Australia for just small cuttings, and it was starting to feel a little bit silly. So I was really impressed and happy to see a whole bunch of them at the hardware store. And even though they weren't in the best shape, they were there and they were a decent price. So this was originally $17, $18 or something, and it was marked down because it was damaged. Now, as you saw, it was wrapped around quite funnily when I got it. It was all kind of like meh, 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 meh. So I unraveled it and I got my measuring tape out and I measured it, and there's like 1.5 meters almost worth of plant here. Like, check how long that is. That is. So I don't really like the look of this one single vine. I don't think it's very attractive. So my plan is to cut it into a few pieces and then propagate those pieces and replant those pieces into my pot. And then I will have a nice big full vine by the end of it. At least that's the plan. So firstly, I'm going to go through and prune any gross leaves. Like, that leaf is just not in nice shape. So we're going to get rid of that leaf. And any other bits that are just not doing so well. So it's got a new leaf nubbin growing out the end. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. There's a new leaf nub growing there. So that's cute. So that's a damaged leaf there. Alright, so what I want to do is, it's got a little vine growing from the pot and a big vine growing from the pot. So I'm going to leave the little vine coming out of the pot because it's fine just the way it is. And just trimming to make sure it's in good shape. So I'm going to leave that. Remove this tag so you can see better. So I'm going to leave this little vine on it, and then this big vine. Let's just take this thing off. All right. So I've got my big, long, amazing Micans vine here. So where I'm going to cut it is, so because I had a damaged leaf remove here, I'm going to make this one node. So I'm going to chop it in the middle here. So I want to chop it in the middle so that if anything happens to the stem, so I've chopped that in the middle there, so that if this starts to rot, I've got some leeway to cut it if need be. And the same thing on this end. If this end gets any problems or diseases, I've got some room to chop it before it's going to be a problem. So now this is my mummy plant. She's looking not too bad now. So there's, some bigger leaves there, and there's the little vine there. I do plan to hang this one in my kitchen once I've repot it. So I want to repot it into a self-watering pot like I have been quite a lot of my philodendrons and the likes, and it also helps having her hanging up in a self-watering because it means that I don't have to worry about pulling it down to water quite as often. So that's my plan for the mummy. Now that she's cut, that's looking already a little less ridiculous. So then I've got this big vine left here. So my plan for this one was to cut it clean in half so that I had two pieces to propagate. I could chop these into, you know, smaller nodes and try and propagate that way, but I really don't want to because I much prefer to have a bit more plant. The more plant you have in your propagation, the healthier the propagation is going to be, and the quicker it's going to grow roots that are going to be happy to be planted. So because I've already got a node here on the end where and some aerial roots coming out already, I'm going to cut this piece there. So this piece is going to go into propagation like this. I'm going to go water probably to that point. So I will show you a video at the end of how I'm setting them up in the water. Yeah, so that is my first piece. And then this is probably going to be my second piece. Now it might be a bit long and a bit awkward, but in the long run, it's going to be happier. I'm just going to take this leaf off the bottom so it can focus, despite it being an absolutely beautiful leaf. Like, oh, Micans are so gorgeous. The texture is so just lovely. It's so lovely. Look at it. Oh, it's so beautiful and velvety, and it makes me sad to have to cut that leaf off, but I need to in the long run so that the cutting can grow properly. So now that that's got an area that can go into the water to propagate nice and clean as well. So these are my two pieces. So I'm going to pop these in a water vessel and I will show you how I'm setting that up, and then, yeah. Here we have the two Micans cuttings in some water vessels. I've got the water level to just above where the nodes with the aerial roots are. So it's a bit hard to see in this one because the shape of the glass is a bit awkward. But I've got them in there. So hopefully those will grow some nice happy roots soon that will be good to plant back into the pot with the mummy. So here's the mummy pot as well, which I will be repotting into some happier looking soil because the soil that it came in is not the best. So I'm going to be repotting that into my philodendron soil mix, which is in my soil video. So go check that out if you want to see what my soil mix is. And in a while, when I have something to update on these cuttings, I will post an update. And this can be my little massive Micans series. So I hope you've enjoyed edition 1 of this massive Micans series. And hopefully we can keep following until my single long strand of Micans can go from a massively long Micans into a massively big, fat, full, beautiful Micans. And now I've said Micans so many times, it's starting to sound weird. So that is my first video on my beautiful Micans that I picked up the other day, and I just thought I'd make a little series out of because it was a fun little project. But anyway, thanks for watching, and go follow me on Facebook and Instagram and like and subscribe and do all of those things, blah, 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 blah. And keep growing like your plants. Bye.